Okay, so we're finally back. This is great news. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my studio. Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, Jah Rastafari, ever living, ever fearless, ever sage. Welcome to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host, and I am so excited to be back here after an absence of what feels like years, but has been really almost 2 months, about 7 weeks. And we were been absent because there was some electrical work that was done in the street, and it screwed up the electricity to the building. So we had to redo a lot of electrical work, and it just took all that amount of time. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be back in the studio. Because even though I'm not much, I'm a nothing and a nobody, when I paint, I am king of the hill, and it's what I love doing the most. Plus, when I'm not meditating, just the fact of painting is a form of meditation because I'm just concentrated and I can let my mind wander in wonderful places, and I just enjoy it so much. And I must admit, even though the first month of not painting wasn't that bad because it was so damn cold, right? But the last 3 weeks, I was starting to crawl up the walls. I really couldn't wait to get back to work. So, talking about getting back to work, let's start off like we usually do by going over to the computer and checking out what we did last time we were in the studio, and then we'll take it from there. So, a quick recap of what we did last time. We actually just worked on this center borders, these two borders on the left and right hand side of the canvas, which is behind me, which is a diptych, right? We did it in two halves. And then after doing all this little bit of decorations, which basically took several hours, if I recall, it seems so long ago, I'm not even sure. So anyways, let's get back to our let's get back right here. And what we are going to do today is that I kind of lost track of what I wanted to do originally. So I'm going to try something else, something new. I'm going to try doing more of these bands, but this time like a bullseye, two in the center here. So that's what I'm planning on doing, and hopefully quickly finish this canvas and start with something fresh and new, because after 6 weeks, 7 weeks of not painting, I'm full of ideas, and I can't wait to put them on canvas. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to string and try to find the center point of this painting here so I can use it to make my circles. So to do that, I think the easiest way is basically do like I used to do when I was a carpenter, and is just to stretch two little lines. There we go. And find the center. I'm not going to snap this because I don't want it to get the chalk on my painting, but I am going to just put a little marker. So the center's probably right there, I would guess, between the two paintings, right? Since it's a diptych. And I don't think I need to do the same thing on the other side. We know it's in the middle. Jesus, I already lost it. There's so much going on. Oh, yeah, it's right about here. Okay. So that will be the center point of our lines. So here we go. And I do have my homemade compass right here. And what I want to do, though, is kind of measure off, I would say about 5 centimeters from the edge and have it start about there. So we'll go right here. And I'm going to want it to be about 10 centimeters wide, which is the same width as this part right here. So I'll make another mark here. Hopefully I'll be able to find them again. So 5 is there. Then I'm going to do another 5 here. Another 10 here. There we go. So I am going to get back to the center part right here. Which is right about there. Okay, I already lost my first 5 centimeters. Okay. Oh boy, does it feel good to be doing stuff like this. Okay. I don't think today is going to be a very long stream because we are going to have to wait for the paint to dry. So in the summertime, it's not a problem because I just put the fan on full blast, and with the heat, everything dries very quickly. But since we're still in winter, there we go. There we go. And then I have this no, 2 more circles to do. There we go. And the last one, I assume, is this mark right here. There. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'll switch cameras for that. There we go. So again, I'm going to go 5 centimeters from the edge, then 10 centimeters, then 5 centimeters, and another 10. There we go, right there. Does that look right? Okay, very good. So let's do our circles here. Get all the way here where we want to be. There we go. And I assume my 10 centimeters is this guy right here. I hope. Oh no, it's this guy right here. Okay. There we go. And then another 5 centimeters. So I assume it's this guy right here. And this looks right. And then the last little one is 10 centimeters, which is that tiny, whoops, I'm going to remeasure that because I already lost it with all this splattering on the canvas. So, okay. What am I doing here? That was not what I was supposed to do. Then, I guess 10 centimeters from here, which is right about there. There we go. Okay. So, got that done. Now all I have to do is put the background, the white paint on that, and then I will basically be done for the day. I have to let this dry if I want to put my, tomorrow we'll come back and we'll do the edges here, green and yellow. And tomorrow being Thursday, my stream will be in French. So all the other days of the week it's in English, and Thursdays it's my day in French. Since I'm actually living in France, it's only logical that my friends in France can hear me as well. So there we go. So I'm going to get my white paint ready. It's not very complicated. I have it right here. Get that out of the way. And let's get a little palette right here, I guess. And what kind of a paintbrush am I going to use? Something like this, or actually something like this. So get that in the water. I'm ready for that. And then let's get the white paint together here as well. I do have to go back and check the computer and see where I'm at because I'm kind of out of practice. And I know that since this is live and I'm all by myself, there's no technicians. There are a lot of little things I can screw up, like the microphone can't be working maybe, or is muffled. Nothing I can do about that. I won't know till it's the end of the stream. And then, of course, there are the other little problems, like forgetting to switch cameras and leaving it on something that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. So there's all these little quirks that I got to get back into a habit of keeping an eye out for to keep the stream alive and entertaining as much as possible. Even though I'm sure for a few days I'm going to be alone doing my stream, but it doesn't matter. I was reading an interesting article on these kids that do live streaming of it while they're playing games, mostly on the platform Twitch. And like 95% of these streamers have absolutely nobody watching their stream, except maybe a friend or a family member. But 95% of people have absolutely no viewers. And I'm part of those 95%, especially that when you stop streaming for 7 weeks like I just did, well, obviously it's like starting all over again, but it's no big deal. No big deal because even if there were 1,000 people watching or nobody watching, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing, right? So it really makes no difference. And I have to explain that quite often to my 16-year-old son, who keeps reminding me, well, why you stream if there's nobody watching? But whatever. Okay, so let us get back to the actual painting stuff. I'm going to put this over here, make a little room, get organized. Not used to doing this anymore, so very good. So let's go here, and this is going to go so quickly, so easily. There we go. There's the outer circle. And the inner circle. Oh, shit. There we go. There we go. My first screw up. Wonderful. Though I must say, with all the splattering, it might never show, but we are professionals, so. So without electricity, I can't paint because I'm in the old part of the town of Nice in France. And these buildings were built in the 16th, 17th century, and the streets are extremely narrow. So there's no light that penetrates. I'm on the third floor, and it's quite dark. And the city was built like that on purpose because it gets so hot in the summertime that by having narrow streets and a lot of shade, it would keep the apartments cool, right? They didn't have air conditioning in the 16th century, so. There we go. Do the edges first. It's kind of nice for me to start this way because, believe it or not, I'm kind of out of shape here. So I have to get back my coordination between my hands and my eyes and the paintbrush. Get all three lined up. And to start off doing something this simple is just ideal for that. There we go. Now let's get the other side. Just a dab of water, and there we go. There. Oh, that's so enjoyable. So enjoyable. These long hairs out of the way. So the only brush I've used in the last 7 weeks is my shaving brush. I use one of those old-fashioned brushes that you put the soap on with a brush. So that's about the only brush I've been using several weeks. So something like this. Okay, let me just step back for a second, take a look. Okay. And let's do this inner. There's one. There. Round and round. But what's the best way to approach this? I guess this way. So let me step back again. Take a look. Very good. Just bring this up a little bit like that. Same here. There we go. That's close enough, I guess. Maybe just seeking that elusive feeling of perfection. There we go. So, what does that look like? Just bring this down here, maybe. Okay, very good. Now, I was thinking before I started this of also maybe thinking of doing like a little half circle on the top and on the bottom. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I don't want to overload the painting as well. Already this style of painting is very different than what I usually paint. And now that I think about it, I think this break that I had for several weeks came at a good time because I've been painting like 5 days a week for the last 8 months, since our first lockdown that we've had in France. So I was kind of getting burnt out on ideas and decided I'd wing something totally different, which was this. I started off with these splatterings, which is usually the background to something. And of course, these splatterings I always do kind of on a Japanese mentality, Japanese with the 3 branches always that you find in a lot of Japanese paintings that represent, the 3 main elements of life: water, land, and air. So that's basically what I had in mind at first. But then whatever. I'm rambling on. So I can't do anything till this is dry. I hate to say it. I think we were at the end of our stream. Boo-hoo. I really don't want to stop because I'm so happy to be back here. But that's the way it goes. So I am going to come back to the computer, and I am going to leave you with, like I usually do, with my schedule. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be here at 9 a.m. Our stream will be in French, and then we'll be back here Friday morning again and do our stream in English before we take off for the weekend. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll say ciao, mes amis.